Well, she thought she'd have no trouble one day selling her 10,000 square foot home in a gated community, complete with a beautiful view of Lake Lanier.
You can understand why, but a Hall County widow ran into some big issues with her tenant, a man who's known as the mold doctor. Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis returns with the latest in this chapter of your investigation.
That's right, Sine and Russ. Michael Pugliese, a.k.a. the Mold Doctor, faces a Georgia Medical Board investigation sparked by complaints from patients and former employees. He says he's done nothing wrong. Well, try telling that to a frustrated former landlord.
Grand Marina Circle in Gainesville is high rent territory, the proper home you might expect for a man who promotes himself on YouTube as an international expert and best-selling author.
My name is Mike Pugliese, and I wrote the book on mold, The Homeowner's Guide to Mold.
Pugliese is not a licensed physician and denies calling himself a doctor, but plenty of patients and former employees complained to the state medical board he did just that, charging thousands of dollars for special treatments and supplements. Pugliese labels these former employees as disgruntled or people he dismissed. That includes this worker, who documented pouring those so-called special minerals into spray bottles while sitting in the laundry room of an old Gainesville house.
There's nothing even like this going on.
You're not packaging anything in this building, this old building, that you're giving to people to put in their nose?
Okay, this is what I've said. Okay, I will sit down with you later on this week, and you can ask me any question you want.
Instead, he canceled, so we never got a chance to ask him in person about that house on Grand Marina Circle. Pugliese and his family began renting there in 2011. By 2013, with the lease running out, the owner decided to put the house on the market.
He was very good at paying the rent until it came to the end of the lease.
When did the word mold come up?
The last week of his lease was when he started saying there was a mold problem.
In these emails homeowner Moira Fowler gave to the Georgia Medical Board and Gainesville Police as part of her complaint, Pugliese informs her the house officially has mold now. He blames an air conditioner leak in the basement and lists a bunch of repairs, $232,000 worth, all necessary to fix the house and address the mold, not including medical damages for Pugliese's family.
I was a widow. I was on my own. I was very vulnerable. He wanted my house.
He sure did. Those same emails state Pugliese was ready to sue her over the mold, but would drop his claim if Moira Fowler financed the sale of her house to him. If not, Pugliese wrote, "I'm pretty sure Grand Marina Circle will be known to all as the Mold House."
He wanted me to sell my house to him for nothing, me carry all the paper, and if I didn't do it, that's what he was going to do.
Pugliese would not respond to any of our questions about his old address. 1 month after that email prediction, someone put together this website, calling Moira Fowler's house the $1 Million Mold House. The following year, someone posted her address on the Ripoff Report website, calling the Mold House unsellable, unrentable, and claiming Moira's husband died of cancer while living in this mold-infested home. Moira says her late husband, a longtime pilot for the U.S. Air Force and United Airlines, developed cancer more than 3 years before the couple moved into Grand Marina Circle.
His wish was to have one day in that house, and that's why we bought it.
The email used by the person who made that Ripoff Report post is connected to a website domain created by a Michael Pugliese.
I don't know how anybody could do this.
Pugliese and his companion Deborah Meshwart would sue Moira Fowler, claiming negligence, representing themselves in a complaint filled with spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. The lawsuit was never served because Fowler now lives in Ireland. She ultimately had to hire a lawyer to get Pugliese to leave.
We had so many people interested, but every time they Googled my house, the $1 Million Mold House came up.
So Moira Fowler decided to hire her own mold testing company. The result of that test? No mold whatsoever. How could two different tests on the same house result in two different conclusions? That's one of many questions we had.
Remember that $1 Million Mold House website? It included a positive mold inspection report from a company called Mold Test USA in South Carolina. But the man listed as the inspector, Greg Morgan, told the Fox 5 I-Team he's never been to that house. In one place in the report, the inspector's first name is even misspelled. Morgan told us the report appears to have been cut and pasted.
Everything's perfect.
Yeah, it's like your own little island, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The $1 million mold house has no mold, but it does have a new tenant.
How long have you lived here?
Since February 15 last year.
How are you feeling?
Everything's great.
Despite Google, John Sapp and his wife fell in love with the house, with the neighborhood, the view, and their landlord, Moira Fowler. If everything works out, they could one day be the new owners, 3 years after the mold doctor finally moved on.
It was an absolute nightmare.
And again, Pugliese would not respond to our questions about how he could find such dangerous mold when others did not. And he also wouldn't answer our questions about whether he was behind those disparaging websites.
Okay, well, it looks like the new tenant is very happy. He hasn't displayed any symptoms of mold, perhaps?
No, not at all. Asked him if he was feeling good. He said he was. No problems whatsoever in this house that supposedly has all this deadly mold in it.
So I discussed this on Facebook with some of my friends, and Bill Hale Jr. asked the question, why is Pugliese not in jail?
Well, the answer is the police are investigating. That's all I can tell you. Gainesville police are investigating. The medical board is investigating on the civil side, and we'll let you know if there are any new developments.
All right. We appreciate that, Randy.